98 beats per minute. I got a heartbeat. It seems as if they just hire somebody that has a pulse. Today's video is a video that was requested through email through Gavin. Just like the last video, I mentioned Gavin in the other one. He's been sending me all kinds of requests for the last 5 months, and I finally was able to fulfill one of his requests yesterday. Made a video about that, and I really appreciate that he keeps sending me these questions, even though I didn't answer the first one. He had trust that I would eventually make a video. So today's video is hiring a private security officer that has a heartbeat. You guys, I have a lot of experience in this, unfortunately. When I started off, we hired 2 guys. I'm not gonna mention their last name, but hopefully they're watching this video and they will understand what they put me through. The first guy is Kwame. Okay, we'll call him Kwame. Not gonna give him a last name, but look, when Kwame was hired, his first couple of days, and I was a supervisor, I was a 2-striper corporal. I was getting my, what was it, $75 an hour, $7.75 an hour, something like that an hour. Well, maybe $8 an hour to be the corporal, which is a low-level supervisor. So Kwame shows up to the shift, I think day 3, and first he complains about everything. I mean, this is day 3. Be appreciative that you have a job. He was complaining he had to patrol on bike, he's complaining he had to do a log of the events of the day. He's complaining that he had to go to calls for service. I mean, we worked at a moderately busy shopping center, more busier on the weekends. And then one day, Kwame rolls in full of sweat, and he has a rental car, right? I guess he's trying to impress his girlfriend. So I'm like, hey, Kwame, what are you doing? So I see him on the ground lifting up the car with a jack, it's the rental car, and apparently he crashed and he was trying to tape everything up before he returned the car to the rental agency, so he wasn't built for that. He was successful in that mission, but the first warning sign, other than him complaining about everything he had to do on the job, your first week, was the fact that he was concealing the fact that he crashed the rental car. You guys, that's already a bad sign of an employee. Now, he lasted for about 2 weeks. If you guys know Kwame out there, show him this video. Kwame, hopefully you're doing something different, something positive. But man, you put me through some hell during that time we worked together, that short amount of time they worked together. This other guy we'll call Vidari, right? If you know Vidari, send him this video. Vidari would complain about everything in private security. He lasted a couple of weeks. His first week, he brought into the security office some cholo-looking guy, okay? He came in there, he was from some gang, and he brought him to hang out with us, right, in the security office. So Vidari had a big mouth. He would argue so much with the post commander about things he had to do. So one day, and I wrote this in my book, The Private Patrol Operator, there was a fight. The post commander says, hey, look, man, you could do whatever you're doing. If you win this fight, then you will, you could keep doing whatever you're doing, okay? So they fought in the security office. So the post commander picked up Vidari and threw him in the trash can or some recycling bin, and he got all scraped up. And I was watching the whole time. I was just wondering, man, this is crazy. The security company I'm working for. But look, at the end, they had a gentleman's handshake. Everything was squashed, and Vidari became a better worker. And when I mean better, I mean he didn't complain that much. The situation was squashed. Somebody didn't complain to HR because his manager beat his ass. This was the 90s, you guys. This is a great time to work in the private security sector. There wasn't crying, oh, the post commander beat me up, let me file an EEOC complaint. None of that. Gentlemen, they fought, one lost, one was a loser, and they moved on. Warning sign with Vidari was that he complained too much about everything. I mean, if you're going to complain your first weeks on the job, then you're going to become a lousy employee. So in the private security sector, okay, we tend, as hiring professionals, as hiring people, we tend to hire anybody out there, and that's because we have problems finding qualified people. We have problems finding people with guard cards. I will tell you right now, with our withdrawal of Afghanistan, a lot of those people out there, if you pay them enough, a lot of our veterans, they will make excellent private security officers in your workforce. They'll make excellent partners as well. Some of them, there's always that minority of them that will not. But generally, they know how to take orders. Yeah, if you're out of line, they'll be one of those employees that will question you for everything. But they have been taught in the military to never abandon a post, and that's been ingrained in them. And I'm confident that when you hire a veteran, they will not leave their post. And just the saying of, I will never leave my post, that trickles down to other positive effects. So that you basically have a worker, an employee that has some standard of living, some standard of how he or she will hold himself up in your company. So definitely hire veterans. Hire police explorers if you see them. They'll make excellent candidates, because eventually many of them want to be law enforcement officers, and they know that they can't screw it up in these private security workplace. You screw it up in the private security workplace, there's a good chance that you might screw it up somewhere else. I've worked with some screw ups as a police officer, and there was warning signs that were a little bit overlooked when they were private security officers. So if you abuse your authority as a private security officer and the police department hires you, there's always that better than not chance that they're going to screw it up as a police officer. Pre-employment examinations. If you want to screen out the better candidates, conduct pre-employment examinations, a written test and oral examination. You guys, every week, I'm working harder and harder to finish my leadership, my private security leadership course. I just want to show you some of the progress real quick. Right here, this is a slide that I'm working on for branch office certificates. I want to show you guys how to complete them and what circumstance would you need a branch office certificate. I'm diligently working towards future presentations. So for pre-employment examinations, I actually finished a basic written exam and an oral interview assessment sheet. And instead of just publishing it, throwing it out there, I sent it off to an attorney to review it. And they actually found that on one of my, I think the written exam, one of the math questions that I have on there is basic. This is basic math, you guys, and it involved a workplace occupancy, I think permit, but there's a little bit of math. The attorney told me, Sean, I know what you're trying to get at, but this can be viewed as discriminatory. And we found a better way on how to rewrite this assessment. So in the end, I have a polished document. It's not legal advice, not professional advice, but it's something to work on. I'll probably cover bits and pieces of it. As for giving it out for free, you guys, I probably won't end up doing that, because it was an expense. There's a lot of time preparation that I have to put in, but especially I have to pay an attorney to review it. I probably won't put it out there as something free, but once I'm done with it, I'll let you guys know when I'm done, and it's up to you if you want to click on the link get it, but I will cover bits and pieces of that. So pre-employment exams, if you can conduct them in a non-discriminatory manner, in a manner that does not give disparate treatment, okay, you can't even do some of these intelligence exams because there's case law out there, and I cite them in my course, my leadership course, the cases that will show that some intelligence exams are discriminatory, and they were designed to put a certain race or some people of a certain color into a disparate category. Now this isn't current. This is right when the Civil Rights Act in the 60s, when that one was passed. This is a case that followed through right now. As for disparate treatment occurring right now, I don't see a lot of evidence of that, and I'm going to maybe defer speaking about that in a different video, but not right now. But I will tell you, right after the Civil Rights Act, there was a lot of people, a lot of organizations that were they were giving certain races, people with certain colors of skin, disparate treatment based on their color of the skin and their origins. So it has happened out there, and I don't want you guys to be falling in the similar trap. The way you do this is you make your exams consistent, you make them equal, okay? I talked about in my leadership course about physical exams, PT exams. So when I was going through the LAPD physical agility exam, they had us balancing on a beam. This is the early 2000s, squishing this springy device. You guys that go to gyms and everything else that work out far more than I do, you probably know what the hell this thing is. But it's designed to work out your wrist. So what ended up happening was, I did the exam. I failed it actually, and I was in the best shape of my life. I was actually going through the police academy at the moment, and I failed the PT, the physical agility exam at LAPD. So I retook it and passed it. And in the end, my question is this: what the hell? What does this springy thing have to do with being a police officer? I mean, you guys, I've been through every single thing that you could think of as a police officer, and never did I have to use a springy thing. It didn't make any sense. Now, going through advanced firearms training, I've learned that to be accurate with the gun, consistent shots, to tame the muzzle flip of your handgun, you want to have that super powerful grip. I'm talking about stronger than a handshake. Now that makes sense. Nobody explained that to me. At least when you're at LAPD, I mean, if you go back in time, you can, but 2001, at least tell the recruits, hey, in real life, you're gonna have to be doing A, B, C, or D, okay? As for the whole pull-ups or chin-ups, I could see what the utility is. You might have to run, now, for LAPD, okay, you're gonna have to run after people. That's fair to say, and those people might jump over walls, and that's why you might have to do a pull-up. That makes sense, but generally females are more disadvantaged. They have less upper body strength. They were not built with greater upper body strength than males, generally speaking. Obviously, there's always the exception of women that are stronger than men, but why do the pull-up? Why don't I just have them jumping over a chain link fence and maybe a brick wall or some other type of wall that simulates a real world environment? Okay, that would make a lot more sense. In private security, if you're going to give your people a physical agility exam where they have to jump over walls, you better justify it. Why are you having them do that? Because you're going to be probably running into an ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, issue if you have somebody jumping a wall and you can't explain why they're jumping over a wall. So, for example, if you're working a post where you're just monitoring cameras, why are you going to have this person jumping over walls to prove that they could jump over walls? It doesn't make any sense, and that's where you're going to get into a possible ADA violation. It needs to make sense. You guys ever heard of Gavin D. Becker? One of the most awesome executive protection and training firms that are out there. They're based out of Los Angeles. Read his books. Read Gavin D. Becker's books. He has them do the physical agility exam, but he's able to justify why they need to do pull-ups, push-ups, the run. His team they can explain why. I'm not saying that you should eliminate a pull-up or a chin-up from the exam. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you have to explain it. Okay. I could better explain jumping over a wall that is more job realistic than just doing a pull-up. Now, that's law enforcement. In security, in executive protection, the way that you explain the need for a physical agility exam is, well, I might be positioned at one estate, another house, where we have this, where we share a client in common, and if my partners need assistance or this person's partners needs assistance, I have to be able to scale the wall of one neighbor to the other. Or if we are working some type of detail where our celebrities being paraded through the streets, okay, I have to be able to get to my client if I'm a block or two away, just in case there's some obstructions, maybe that there's vehicles blocking the roadway and they're all bumper to bumper. I have to be able to explain that I might need to hop over a car, hop over a fence, hop over the barricades, okay? It needs to make sense. Whatever idea you have needs to make sense. If you're going to physical agility exam, by the way, you probably want to have it, talk to an attorney first. Talk to an attorney with all the information I'm giving you today, because it's not legal advice, it's not professional advice. And that's the best way to go if you're going to do a certain physical agility test. Sit-ups, how do you justify that? Well, it's very there's a chance that if you're protecting somebody, you get knocked to the ground, you have to be able to get right back up, get in the fight. Explain it, or be able to explain it. Just in case the EEOC comes down and investigates. And for California, we also use the EEOC, but there's another one, I think Fair Labor and Housing Commission. They also investigate. There's two agencies that can investigate employment discrimination. Hopefully this video helps you guys understand that you might have to do or give a physical agility exam. You might have to do an oral examination, a written examination to weed out the best, the most qualified candidates. But on the other hand, you have to be able to explain every single question that you ask of your candidate, whether it be in writing or an oral interview. Hope this question is answered, Gavin. If you guys have any other comments and concerns, please let me know. I enjoy reading all of your content, all of your questions, all of your comments. I really take time out of my day to answer you guys and to read each and every single comment. Please like this video, share it with others, and please, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please press the alert notification so you don't miss an important update. Let me know what you guys think. Take care.